Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we welcome you to the most interactive podcast in the history of all podcasts. I'm Trevor. This is Juan, and this is the Sports Dynasty podcast. This is your podcast.
I like that. I like that. But for it to beat other people's podcasts, you have a job to do. But your job is to rate and review us. Tell everyone how beautiful we are, and that we can spread that beauty among everybody else. We want a community. For it to be community, you guys got to share. Just that simple.
Yeah.
Very easy to do.
Yep. This is your podcast at the end of the day.
It is your
So,
podcast
yep.
at the end of the day, no question.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about. A lot of things happen, and a lot of good things happen. Believe it or not, I know the world is a very disgusting and messy place right now. Not the best we've ever been, but good things happen. In about 2 months, we'll all be in a great place. A place of unity, a place of entertainment, a place of sports. Sports officially returns July 31st. The NBA's back! Yes! Sorry for your headphones. But it's back. Thank the Lord. Sports are returning. This is what we've been praying for these last 2.5 months. It's gonna be 4 when it probably comes back in. But damn near 3 months of no sports when we're usually in NBA Finals territory right now.
NBA Finals would have started today.
It's been pretty bad, but it's coming back. We're gonna get a conclusion. That's probably the best part of this entire thing, is that the freaking season will have a conclusion.
That's what I prayed for. That's all I wanted.
Hopefully, COVID don't want to have any bright ideas again, just like the last time. But again, we'll find out. Before we do all that, besides a little rate and reviews thing, don't be afraid to like, share, and subscribe and stuff too. Comment down below on YouTube. I believe they have a couple of those on Twitter too. You can hit us up there too. Not like we don't have a Twitter handle. We're not at Podcast Dynasty.
On Twitter.
No, we don't have that for you to go ahead and talk about anything we have to talk about here. If you want to argue, you want to have a discussion. Also, if you guys want to join the show, which is what we've been saying, it's your podcast. For it to be your podcast, so you got to get your butts on a seat and on a webcam to come right here and talk with all of us. All you got to do is hit either this guy here or that guy here. And we got you. It's very simple. The best way
We're very easy.
Yeah.
We're actually very easy to get a heck hold of. Very easy, actually.
Very simple. It's the best way, since I will start putting our real social medias down. The best way is going to be like I said, on Twitter, at Podcast Dynasty. You hit us up there. We will both have access. You will figure out what to do from there. But from now on, we'll have our Instagram or Facebook. Maybe both. We'll have whatever.
Yeah, have both of them.
They'll be in the descriptions below. So, easy, accessible. You want to talk? Come join us, please. Now to get serious. We haven't spoken since all the protesting and rioting has been going on for
a week?
Over a week? Maybe a week over a week? Something like that?
Yeah. Like 8 days.
Yeah,
something
it's
like
just the unfortunate passing of Mr. George Floyd. We haven't had any talk on it, but judging how we all look, I think you probably know exactly where we're going to go with.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes, we're obviously in favor. Hashtag BLM all day. That will probably also be in the description somewhere too, just so you guys know. It's what bothers me is that why did it take this to really understand how ununified we really are? This isn't anything new. Not even a little bit. This has been
about 400 years plus.
Yeah, like it's not changing. And it's unfortunate the guys who bust their ass for centuries, the guys who bust their ass almost 60 years ago, talking about Dr. King and Malcolm X and company. It's not to say their work wasn't, it didn't go somewhere, because it did, but they will probably come to life thinking, why aren't we better? I think
At
that
this
is what they would
point,
say.
yeah.
Why aren't we better? And again, it's really, I'm trying to find the right words and not say something too insulting, but it's really bad. I'm going to go bad. It's really bad that it took all of this for people to finally realize that there's real social injustice in it's not just this country, it's the entire world, but like it took an unfortunate death to finally get everybody to realize, oh, maybe everybody doesn't have the same rights, even though it's that but let's put it into sports, because again, what we're gonna say is something that everybody else already said for the past week. So of course we're all for it. But let's change into sports. The best thing to me that came up this entire thing is how powerful these athletes came up, took charge, and are making a huge difference in everything.
Yeah.
And LeBron James probably being the pinnacle out of it all.
LeBron and Steven Jackson.
Yeah, they're the ones that are pinnacle. Yeah. They're taking charge, and I absolutely love it. It shows how powerful these men are, how strong their message is, and how much influence they really have. And what's great about this, that those guys can actually make a real difference. It's not like people fucking out their ass. They can make a real difference. And the best part to me of this, of us being in society like this, is we can see this happen. So I know Bill Russell, for example, because he went through this 60 years ago. He's looking, he's like, yes. He's like, let's go. Seeing the athletes take control now, because they could do more than they did. Because they could do only so much back then. You know what I'm saying? Now they're like, let's go. Fight the power, and I know they have to be very proud. I'm proud. I'm thankful, and I'm very happy that they're doing their thing. And athletes everywhere in every sport is taking charge, and I love it.
Another good thing too is the protest is a mixture of everyone.
Yeah.
Kind of seeing you seeing a lot of white people
are
is
definitely in it.
So they're trying to help. They're trying to make a difference for sure.
And it shows that it's not, the ignorance isn't everywhere. It's just in small places. It's what's unfortunate is that where the ignorance is at the people who can make the realest difference.
Yeah.
That's
pretty much.
Issue.
Yep. It is.
That's the issue. So the only thing we can do as citizens is get on those ballots and vote for people who will make that difference.
Yep.
That's all truly we can really do. Not be retarded and go out at night and destroy our fucking communities. We don't need to do that. That doesn't help. We're not doing that.
Not at all.
Let's get on them ballots. For us New Yorkers, the ballot's going to start, I believe, the 23rd of this month. We can start voting for stuff. Vote for the people to get into the candidacies. So we can start there. And that's how we make the realest difference. It's also cool seeing the athletes take care of Mr. Floyd's family, too. It's pretty cool. Playing for the funeral. I think somebody, I forgot who was paying for the kids' tuition and stuff like that.
I think it was cool. Was it Floyd Mayweather?
He's the funeral.
The funeral, okay.
He's doing the funeral. There's someone else paying for the kids' tuition for stuff too. I just don't remember who it was.
Kanye West.
Kanye. Yeah,
Kanye. Someone. So that's, the hearts are everywhere, man. They're doing good stuff, and I'm so happy to see it.
Gotta play your part.
Definitely. Trevor, you've been very quiet.
It's important. It's good because if you look at the NFL and the NBA, what do y'all have in common? You have two leagues that's like predominantly African American players on the field, on who are here for entertainment. So for them to speak up and say that saying that racial inequality and injustice will not be tolerated and nor should be tolerated. Fortunately, particularly in the NFL, now we are all big NFL fans. I love I love football. That's my baby. How Raul loves basketball. I love basketball too, but football is my baby. Mm-hmm. I love football. I support the league no matter what. You know what I'm saying? The fact of the matter is that when you have a predominantly large African American pool when it comes to the coaches, the coordinators, and whatever. The fact of the matter is that you can't say. Like, I think it's interesting because Vic Fangio, the Broncos head coach, we'll segue into that too. And the issue that he made comments saying that he doesn't see racism in the NFL. Now the problem is,
I'm sorry.
now though we heard him say it, it was like super ignorant to say because you are viewing it as a white man. Now the problem is the NFL has a serious problem with diversity as far as coaches.
Yeah, certain
And
quarterback thinks
yeah,
eventually too.
now they've done a better job. They've done a better job with as far as you're seeing more of the black quarterback today than you did 15, 20 years ago. So they have moved towards that only because you're noticing that the athlete, the common athlete, is more stronger, more faster. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying, being built more, right? And that's from any race whatsoever. But let's talk about black in general. So if you get a check mark there, the fact that Vic Fangio had the nerve to say that and the fix his nerve to say that is horrible because you're viewing it as from the eyes of a white man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these players come from poor neighborhoods or stuff like that. So they have to try much as hard, just to what I'm saying. And I think that the NBA has done a good job as far as addressing it, but the NFL still tries to turn a blind eye. They say they may try to say, "Oh, we're all for it," but saying it and doing it is two different things.
It looks
But
like more the NFL's jumping on the bandwagon.
yeah, I agree. Yes,
I
and
counted
maybe
8 starting quarterbacks who are African American. I counted 8. I could be
I'm,
wrong. Lamar, Patrick, Tyrod Taylor is assumed to be the starter for the Chargers. Dwayne Haskins, Dak Prescott, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, and I had it in my mouth. Where is it? I had it.
Teddy.
Teddy
There,
Bridgewater.
there, I didn't count him, so there's a 9th. So there's somebody else I'm missing. Mother trucker. I don't remember the other one. I'm trying to go through the division in my head. Kyler Murray.
Kyler Murray.
So that's 9 so far, and there could be more. And there were others starting before, like Jacoby Brissett, for example, and stuff like that. So that's almost a third of the starting quarterbacks are African American.
Which
So
is
that's
which is
way
an
better. 20 years
improvement.
ago, it was only like 2.
Yep.
So,
Which is an improvement. I think that the NFL has to understand. I think that the fact of the matter is you have these owners in the NFL who are still living in that old school mindset that hey, what's working and not evolving with the times. Now I'm trying my best not to say, obviously you have to be really careful when you say certain things related to people. But I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say.
yes.
But
And here's a point for that. They're, I'm putting in quotations. I'm gonna be a little disrespectful. They're trying to change it. Hence the Rooney rules they put up last month.
which is a joke. That's a
Which is
joke.
an absolute joke. It's a complete insult. We already talked about this in a past show. But because I saw on Instagram that I believe Kyle Shanahan mentioned the fact that there is a lack of African American minority coaches in the NFL right now. And I said, again, this is the point I made in the beginning of the show. This isn't anything new. All of a sudden, now it's an outrage? Why wasn't this an outrage 20 years ago? Why now all of a sudden is an outrage? And what's hilarious to me, we're going to segue into the NBA. The NBA is the same thing. There's like 3 or 4 African American coaches in the NBA. That's it.
You
It
know
wasn't the problem before. Why all of a sudden now?
Only one African American owner.
You know what's the difference between both leagues? That the NBA is more of a players' league.
No question. Yes.
And the NFL is more of is on the higher ups with the owners. So it's going to be harder for the NFL to transition into this. Well,
yes, they're making steps. I said they're trying.
Right.
Trying. But again, though, this all goes to the point I said before. Why all of a sudden we're having a big issue with this? This has been a problem for a long time. A very long time. Don't know. And exactly. I love the other people in comments talking about they're just hiring the best thing. Are you sure they're just hiring the best candidate? Or is
that can't be 100%.
Because we know in real life that if you see John and then you see LaQuisha, they might go for the John more likely than the LaQuisha.
Unfortunately.
Again, this ain't a Sports Dynasty show. It ain't gonna get a little controversial. I'm just saying, that's not a thing. I think it is.
It's true.
So
that's what needs to change.
That doesn't, take away from sports. Sports is a similar thing. If you could go from the white John or the darker John, they might go for the whiter John. They've been doing it forever. So again, why all of a sudden now is a big issue when it's been a big issue for the existence of sports? At least in the first half, it was kind of during Jim Crow and all that. So at least they had an excuse. Now there's no excuse for none of that. Why hasn't it changed? That's my point. Hence why the protests and why everybody's bugging out. But I'm just sad to me that it's taking all of this for this to finally start changing. Why it took all of this nonsense. That's the issue. That's simple. All right, 10 minutes. That's a good amount of time to talk about stuff. And we're talking about stuff that most people actually didn't. All right. So now basketball. So before we go into actual NBA, I did see a small best shooters ever list from CBS Sports, and that show that I don't like to talk about, but a certain Shannon Sharp and company had it issue. That's the first time I've seen that show in years. I think closer to 2 since I've seen.
Well, who was? I never seen it. So who was on the list?
I have it right here on my phone. I'm prepared, man. I'm prepared. So we'll start at 15. The list not is I don't really hate, but I wonder though if they ever leave anyone out, and y'all can let me know. And historian can let me know. The 15th person they had is Drazen Petrovic. I've never seen the dude play. I just know that he was a beast, and then unfortunate things happen. Yeah, that is the New Jersey Nets guy from the 90s, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know who that is, he unfortunately passed away. I don't even think he was in the prime of his career yet when he was passing away. He was gonna make New Jersey a lot of money because he was really good. But
I believe he deserves to be in the list.
Yeah. He was. If he would have lived, he would have been a supreme pioneer. We'll just put it that way.
Reggie Miller
probably would have been top 5.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller has stated.
Good shooter. Mm-hmm.
I think when Ray Allen had broke the record for most 3-pointers, he just passed Reggie Miller. He said that Pedro, the guy you just said, I can't. Yeah, he is saying that he literally was the best shooter of all time. Even though Ray Allen broke his record, he said he's the best shooter of all time. Had he had not had his demise, that he would have been.
Anything with itch means he's a lights out shooter. So.
Yeah, if you're a bitch, you more likely to shoot the ball.
Yeah,
you can take that as a stereotype if you will, but hey, at least it's a positive one.
They all can shoot.
Petrovic, Stojakovic, who's also will be in here soon, I think. Chris Mullin is 14th.
Ooh. 14.
Golden State Warrior and played in the 90s with Tim Hardaway and company. Very good shooter. Yeah, he's 14th. Mark Price, point guard of Cleveland Cavaliers during the 90s, who unfortunately kept getting destroyed by Michael Jordan. One of the many victims he had. Really good player, though. Don't take it away. He shot 40% from 3 in the 90s.
He was good.
Keep that in mind. Oh, there's Stojakovic. Peja Stojakovic. One of my favorite all-time players, believe it or not. Fucking love Peja. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. But that's only 12. J.J. Redick was a very interesting one. I stopped. I said, oh, you're giving J.J. some love. That's very interesting.
At 11?
Yeah, at 11.
Well, let's hear the rest.
Yeah, but he's a sniper, though.
I thought he should be higher, but let's hear the rest.
We're going to go, yeah. Steve Kerr. I believe he has the highest 3-point percentage ever, I think. He obviously doesn't have the volume as everybody else.
Right.
But, come on, son. Like he said, he built Michael Jordan now.
He deserves to be in the list for sure. Yeah.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Of course. No question.
It's hard to block his shot and get in his way when he's 7 feet tall. But yeah. Kevin Durant. I was like, ooh, Kevin Durant.
Hell yeah.
8.
Hell yeah.
At 8. I'm like, at 8, that's interesting. I thought he'd be a little higher too. It's Kevin Durant.
Yep.
Funny, he shoots 38%, which is not that high, but it's Kevin Durant. Like, stop it.
30% as a whole? Like
38.
38 what? As a 3-point or?
Three, of course, three.
Oh, okay.
Him through what? Hell no. Yeah, that compared to other people that we're gonna talk about, that's low, but
that's all right.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Remember the volume he takes; it's more than
It's
almost
a
everybody
lot.
else. Almost everybody else. Steve Nash is 7. Yeah, he doesn't really miss either. He's the 50, 40, 90 god. So,
Yeah.
So
No joke.
yeah, 50 field goal, 40 3-point, and 90 free throw. He's probably the best free throw shooter ever.
Probably.
Yeah, he shoots, I believe, 91. I think for his career, something like that. That's retarded.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Get that. 6, Kyle Korver. I'm very happy he got some love because I kind of feel like he's an underrated shooter, which will sound stupid, but I don't think I'm wrong.
And as an all-time, yeah, he's underrated.
Yeah, because you got to keep in mind this is kind of all he does. So if he's able to stay in the NBA for almost 20 years, to this day, he has to be good.
And he had a 50, 40, 90 season.
Yes, he did. He almost shot 50% from 3 one season. The season Atlanta won 60 games.
Yeah, that was 2015.
15, thank you.
2015, yeah.
Yeah, he almost shot 50 from 3. That's unheard of.
He was all-star that year, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's Kyle Korver.
Yeah.
He's sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Reggie Miller's 5th.
Okay.
So we're really going towards the Mount Olympus of shooters.
Right.
I think everybody.
I feel like someone's gonna get missed out on this list, but keep going.
That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Yeah.
Reggie Miller is 5th. Larry Bird is 4th.
Okay.
And I have points about that. We'll get to. Ray Allen is 3rd.
And Clay Curry.
Yeah, the all-time leading 3-point shooter for right now, as of right now.
All right.
Like
Clay and Curry.
Clay one is.
You know who it bothers me, and it bothers me very much that he's not in this list. They didn't put Glenn Rice in here.
I know this is what I wanted to talk about. This everybody needs to know about the other shooters that they decided to leave out. And Glenn Rice was a deadly. Look at my face. Yep. Deadly sniper.
Glenn Rice, right? I was watching his clips the other day too, because when he was in the Lakers.
Yeah.
This dude is like a black Klay Thompson, bro. Like he's like Klay Thompson before Klay Thompson.
Disclaimer: Klay Thompson is black, by the way. This is so y'all know.
Yes.
Oh, I know.
Oh, really? But hey, all right, he's a darker Klay Thompson. He's Klay before Klay. He's Klay before Klay. That dude is
that joke was appropriate.
And the people who I got problems with is Steve Kerr, Larry,
or being where he is.
Placement.
Okay.
Steve Kerr, Larry Bird.
As what? Larry Bird what?
What they got him as 4th?
4th.
Yeah, I wouldn't put him that high.
Would you like to explain why? Because that's gonna lead into a point that I have.
Because in his era, they didn't shoot as many threes. Like I think Steph Curry in one season made more threes than he did in his whole entire career. Didn't that happen before?
I don't know. Is that true?
I think
he
that
did
happened
make
before.
400 of them.
But you see what I'm saying? Where the game is different.
Yeah.
So how could you say Larry Bird is a better shooter than JJ Redick? What?
I like you said that though, because of course I was watching the segment that they had in Undisputed, and you already know Skip is old, is crap, so he's got like them older guys. So he was talking about Shannon actually had him 2nd, but I think that's a little bit of bias though, because he's saying that was his favorite player growing up before he started playing football.
He does love Larry Bird. Yeah.
So I think that's bias, which is hilarious because you think it's hilarious. But anyway, that's what one of his favorite players. So he did admit that. So that's kind of it took out the credibility a little bit.
Right.
But Skip didn't put him that high, but he was trying to say how good of a shooter he was, and he was trying to use your point basically against you. The fact that he didn't shoot as much, that doesn't necessarily mean that he didn't shoot as well because he didn't have the exact volume. So what is your counter to that?
A lot of those shots that he made are inside. Is from the mid-range. Where you got someone like Kevin Durant, his threes are contested. He's making his threes contested. You got Cal Korver.
There was years, I believe, in his OKC specifically career where I think he led the league in contested three maids.
Right.
I think multiple times too.
Right. You got Cal Korver, who I think he does this better than anybody in this entire list, where he shoots threes off balanced, and he just constantly makes them off of picks over and over. So I think you need to put degree of difficulty. You got to take it into account in this list.
Mm-hmm.
Where Larry Bird is more of a slow-paced player, you know what I'm saying? Where these guys are running gun and they're still efficient. So I wouldn't put him. I wouldn't even have him at top 5 as best shooter. I have him in the list, but I'm taking Glenn Rice. I'm taking Steph, Clay, Durant. I'm taking JJ Redick. I'm taking Kyle Korver, and I'm taking Reggie.
Those are your top 7. You just went 7 or 6. I didn't count.
I think I was 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm taking those 7 shooters from the 3-point line, right? Because this is 3-point shooters, right?
Let me look at the exact thing. It says shooters in general.
Shooters in general?
In general. So this will include the mid-range game.
So then Kevin Durant's in the top 3 in my list.
Oh, there's no... Yeah, because he doesn't miss a mid-range shot ever.
Yeah, he's arguably the greatest mid-range shooter.
Yeah, they also put that point up that according to them, Larry Bird is a better 2-point shooter than the Splash Brothers. Debate that. Even though I don't hate it, but...
Okay, I think he's a better mid-range shooter than Steph. Clay, that could be debated.
What's funny is that they argue the other way around.
What? No.
They like Steph better as mid-ranger. They didn't even mention Clay's name because of mid-range game.
Clay's automatic from midi. I mean, I guess it's a take your pick, but like I said, I thought this was 3-point shooters.
Nah, it's true in general. That's probably why Steve Nash is so high on the list. The 50, 40, 90 part.
His middies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll have to take that back. Larry Bird's in the top 5.
Yeah. That's what
he's in the top 5.
Yeah. Skip didn't complain about the top 5 at all. He was fine exactly where everything was.
But for sure, I think it's a crime that Glenn Rice is not on this list. For sure. Yeah. He has, even if you put him at 15.
Their 3-point volume, the Splash Brothers, are so much higher to me than everybody else that there's not even the comparison. That if you don't put them 1 and 2, then you're ridiculous. That is
the only one that shoots threes as close as them is Kyle Korver.
Yeah.
But these guys shoot it off the dribble.
And they had another point that I want to talk about before we continue on. And it's like a style of shooting. They argued, did they say Kyle Korver? Damn it, I should have wrote this part down. But they didn't put... No, they did. I'm sorry. Who you like better catch and shoot? They said that Klay Thompson is by and far the best catch and shoot player.
It's not even close. It's not even close. Not even close. He grabs... And I think a lot of people need to realize how hard it is to catch the ball and shoot it.
I know from experience.
Those
are the threes I can't shoot because they'll tell you I'm a 3-point shooter. That's the only thing I could do in the damn court. But when it comes to catch and shoot, I just suck at it. I don't know why.
Especially off of a bad pass.
Yeah.
Shooters like the ball in their hands a specific way for them to rhythm into their shot. Mm-hmm. Klay, he grabs it any way, and he'll shoot it contested. It doesn't matter. He's banging it. He's no question the greatest catch and shoot player I've ever seen.
They said it wasn't even close. I'm like,
it's not close. In my opinion, it is not close.
I like that.
I agree.
I like that. So there's a little education portion of the show. Now let's talk about the meat of the scheduling, and that is the NBA is back. The NBA is in full function. Let's go. The players got just one more month of relaxation, and then their asses is back to training camp in July.
My withdrawal's almost over.
Yes. So let's talk about. Yep.
Before we say anything, thank God for the NBA. But I have to say this real quick.
Yes.
MLB should be ashamed of themselves. Should be ashamed of themselves for letting the NBA steal your season, and which was supposed to be a time where you be all by yourself. You can, have all the attention on you. And now the chances are you're not even going to have a season, and the NBA is going to take over your season. That should be a damn shame to yourselves. The owners should be ashamed of themselves. And, oh well. Continue, sir.
True.
MLB, Jesus Christ. Well, we're back in place, and they have specific ways of how we're gonna go about things. So, like I said, I just mentioned 2 minutes ago, the month of June they're still in basically vacation mode. But once July hits, it's time for them to go to training camp. July 31st is going to be the first game of the continued regular season. So what they're going to do there is that they're going to continue on their actual schedule for 8 more games. So if they have anybody in their remaining schedule that is not participating, so the trashes of trash are not playing, they have to skip that game and continue to play on whoever is available for the rest of the regular season. And the teams are going to be the top 16, so the top eight of the East and West. Then it's going to be, I believe, Portland, Sacramento, San
Phoenix.
Antonio,
Phoenix.
New
New
Orleans
Orleans.
Pelicans, and from the East, only the East one, Washington Wizards. Those are
Yes.
the additional 6 teams that are in this. So anybody else who's not in it, they obviously have a very long vacation ahead of them. And if they are in their actual schedule, that was supposed to be continuing from March 17th, I believe, or 18th was the last day before everything was shut down. They continue on from there, and if they skip it, so that's how it's gonna work. Now, this is the confusion that we all have. I'm not sure, and no one here is sure, if it's going to be straight conference based when the playoffs start, or it's going to be top 16. I don't think they ever mentioned that. If anybody knows that, please comment. Please let us know. I would love to know if anybody knows that. My assumption that it's conference based still, but we're not sure. But to decide the 8th seeds, if the 9th seed is at most, I think 4 games at most. It cannot be more than that. Behind, there's going to be a little tourney between that 8th and 9th seed team. If the 8th seed, they play against each other, obviously. If the 8th seed wins one time against that 9th seed team, the 9th seed team is done and the playoffs will begin. If the 9th seed beats them, they will have to play an additional game. And if that 9th seed beats them twice, they take over the 8th seeded spot after the 8 games. So that means that 9th seed has to be 4 games or less behind the 8th seed. That's how
I think this is fair. I like this. Adam Silver, he nailed it. He nailed it with that 8th seed, the 8th seed race.
Yes, which is why I believe that this is going to be conference based, because otherwise, what's the point of having Washington if they're 5 and so games behind?
Yeah, 5 games back.
So that's why I think this is conference based and an excuse to get Bradley Beal on the court and on TV for us to watch.
I mean, you already robbed them, so might as well something.
Give him some, give him more money, right word. So,
oh God, pure robbery.
Yeah. So that's what's gonna happen. Then I'm going to assume that the conference playoffs is gonna go how it always goes, between 1 and 8, blah 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 blah. So we may not have a Lakers and Clippers finals that people thought we were gonna have if this was a top 16 instead of conference. That might be our Western Conference finals. We don't know how anybody's gonna play because they've had at that point it's gonna be 4 months off.
Right.
So I don't know, but these 8-game regular season, I believe there are teams still fighting for seeding spots. If I'm not mistaken, like there could be a 6th seed trying to get 5th, whatever. Those still apply.
It's a dangerous 8 games. It's a dangerous 8 games because there's no games. There's no easy games anymore.
And it's smart for the NBA because pretty much every game is must watch. Not because we have withdrawal, we need our damn basketball back after not watching it for 4 months. But every game matters. That's why.
It's pretty much like it's like close to a playoff game. The only teams that you could say could kind of relax is maybe Milwaukee. But if you're Milwaukee, you got the Lakers right behind you. So you probably don't want to lose too many of those games.
You want to look strong. You want to go in momentum. If you're slacking too much and you go into the playoffs all slacked and lackadaisical, you know,
that's a problem.
Smart. But that's more so for the other seed, not the first, because they're going to have to play the 8th and Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, so like don't have to worry about that. But like other cities like 3, 4, 5s, like y'all don't want to slack. Y'all don't want to do it. Y'all want to
Especially in
come
the
in strong.
West.
Yep.
The
Want to come in strong.
seventh seed could be a fourth or third seed at the end of the season.
Yep.
Possible.
Yep. So afterwards, they're projected to finish off their season, I believe, the 12th of October. Yes,
Yep.
12th. That will be the Game 7 of NBA Finals, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
They're having their draft lottery in August, I believe, which is very interesting because I think 3 days later, in October after this Game 7, the 15th of October is going to be the NBA draft.
Yep.
So why there's almost a 2-month gap, I don't know, but whatever. It is what it is. Interesting.
Right.
And then I believe a couple days after that is going to be free agency.
Yeah.
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 And then they'll have the rest of October and half of November off. I think midway towards November is going to be training camp. And I think or it might be all November actually, because they want the season, the next 20, 21, 20, and then 21 season to start the 1st of December. I thought they should have did it Christmas, but they want to start the 1st of December.
Well, we
Game
got a 66. We're gonna have a 60-something game season.
I think so. What I heard, which I think they might do, is that they might spread it out a little bit, try to get back into normalcy, which will mean that they'll have more rest for players since they didn't have a real they didn't have a real off season. Let's put it where it is. This does not count as an off season. It's during the god dang season. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah.
They didn't get their fair share. I'm saying so they didn't have their 2-3 months off like they usually do. So I think how the schedule is gonna be like 66 or whatever games, like just like in 2011, right? That's what happened.
2012.
2012. There you go. When it happened, and they are probably gonna keep games a little bit spread out. Try not to put a lot of back-to-backs. I'm sure the players rock that during the negotiations.
They love
I'm
it.
sure the players are like, hell no, you're not doing back-to-backs. We're gonna play December 1st. I'm sure they put it. LeBron and Chris Paul and put it on the table. I'm sure. So I'm guessing that's what's gonna happen. They're not gonna have any back-to-backs. They're gonna spread it out as much as possible. And assuming COVID won't have any more plans for us in 2021, things will be back into normalcy for the NBA, and they'll do their playoffs at late April like always, and then the NBA finals will be in June, and they'll all go back to normal.
Yep.
So that's the layout of how things are going to go. So July 31st is the day when we get our gear back, we get our hats, we get our alcohol if we're 21 and over, we get our party hats, and we go crazy because sports returns. And what the cool thing is that we're not going to stop having sports, again, assuming COVID doesn't have any extra second wave ideas. We won't stop for another year.
Yeah, this is crazy.
All the way up to June of 2021 because NFL is doing their regular thing. NFL ends in February. NBA is already midway.
For fans, this is about to be the golden age, baby.
Yeah, that's how it's gonna go. So, sports fans, we were not blessed, but at least we got something out of this. We got a year straight of sports. Try to look at things at the bright side, you know?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So, what you guys think before? Because we're pretty much talking about everything we can talk about for now. I think we're going to do real predictions probably later this month. We got some time. You know, we know we didn't do predictions when it's June 5th, when the season starts at 31st. So, what I want to know is, what do you... Apparently, the players didn't approve of that till now.
Prove what?
Of the whole format thing. They didn't approve it till just now. That's what the alert I just got on the phone. That NBAPA and NBPA. I'm guessing that's the Players Association.
Yeah, the Players Association.
They just approved now that they're gonna do the playoff format. I had no idea that they didn't do that like last week.
The original playoff format, right?
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, I you see, I knew it was undecided.
Now it's official.
Now it's official.
Guaranteed, it's gonna happen.
Hmm.
I thought it was already assumed. My bad. I had no idea.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
As of 5/17, June 5th, the NBA is literally there's no turning back unless Corona wants to have ideas. It's back. We're getting the NBA. So how do you guys think everything's gonna go now that we have a setup, we have a schedule, and we will be at Disneyland? Disney World. And Orlando,
Well,
Florida playing these games, so it's all neutral. No fans.
so right away, a team like I'm a if you're a fan of the Philadelphia 76ers, just look forward to the next season because you guys got no home games in the playoffs. So you guys could probably get swept in the playoffs. You got now you enter the realm of teams that could become dangerous. That probably wasn't dangerous if the season went on. So you got your Houston Rockets, you got your Clippers, who possibly could get stronger out of this because they got injury-prone players. Then you got teams that could possibly be weaker because of this. So you could be the Lakers possibly because it was real bad. They were clicking. It looked like they literally turned into the best team in the league, like officially. And then this all ended.
Before this ended, yep.
Yeah, so this could be real bad for them.
The Celtics were basically this. They look
Celtics too, and the
going down.
Yeah, the Celtics too. Yeah, it could be real bad for the Celtics. They were really finding themselves. Jason Tatum, it looked like he was like forming a prime, and then it just stopped.
Yeah.
So it's real tricky. This is real. Upsets could happen this year. Upsets could happen this year.
To it.
Yeah, it's real tricky.
Especially since I'm completely unbiased.
Yeah,
he's not there. He's not there. So I'm just sitting back, looking, enjoying the games.
It's gonna be fun for sure. It's gonna be very exciting. It's gonna be very exciting. These players have to do their homework for sure.
Yeah, they do.
And this year's became a coaching year more than any year that I've ever seen.
Yep.
For sure. The coaches got to bring their A game in those scouting reports. Because your team, your players is going to need it. Your players
I
is going to
did
need
research, but I know there's ground rules for them on the court.
Really?
Because, they like to have certain things there. You know how the crowd noise, they like to yell out certain things or whatever. I think there's ground rules for them because there's going to be no sound. So they just can't yell stuff out. Like if they were to yell out plays or stuff like that, they can't necessarily do that now because everybody's going to hear it on the court and they may know what that means. So there's things they have to do now. I didn't research it. The next time we have a show, I'll be sure to research and make sure we know what's going on with that too.
So you might have to make new plays.
Yeah, they might have to do. They
might have to make new plays.
They have a lot of homework to do, especially since it's a quiet court, right? So you can't use that same stuff the next game.
No, they're gonna know exactly what it is.
You have to change everything up. Wow, the coaches.
Especially if you're playing genius level players, you got to be real careful, man. Because like your LeBrons, like someone like Rondo, Chris Paul, they're gonna know right away. This first time they see it, they're gonna know. Okay, he's running that play again. So it's tough. People talk about this is an asterisk, but I think this makes. If you are champion out of this year, it's more impressive because you have to deal with. Yeah. I like that. The level of difficulty is higher.
Yeah, this never been done before. This has never been done. None of this has ever happened before in the history of sports. So
you don't have home court in the playoffs.
To come out up top like this is technically adversity. Like you want to put it in. It is. So you come out on top like this. Because not like, because people weren't like, they were resting, whatever. Everybody's rested the same amount. Everybody had the same break. Everybody had the same time off. So what excuse do you possibly have? Again, like we said 5 or 10 minutes ago, the people who had injured players coming into this, that should be done. They have 4 months to chill.
Exactly.
Most of them are going to be healthy now. Kawhi and Paul George. Giannis was hurt.
He was. He had an MCL injury.
Yeah. He had 4 months to stay off his leg. And hey,
yo, you think about it. There's teams that's come back from series. Let's say you down 3-2. You got let's say you a higher seed. You down 3-2. You got Game 6 and Game 7 at your house. That doesn't exist anymore.
Nope.
You got no momentum. You down 3-2. You going into a crowd with no fans.
Yep.
You going into an arena with no fans.
It's gonna be almost like a 7-game Super Bowl. It's a neutral site.
Pretty much.
The difference is this is harder though because at least in the Super Bowls your friends can follow you as Seattle. You know what I'm saying? They're
Exactly.
like Super Bowl 48. That entire MetLife Stadium was straight Seattle and no Denver fans at
Yeah,
all. It's
exactly.
like they got murked before they got there because it was just straight 12 men.
Exactly.
So you're not gonna have that this time.
In this case, you on your own, man.
Yeah.
You on your own.
It's all about skill, coaching, and execution.
Yep.
And I can't wait.
Me too. I'm excited. I'm excited for sure.
Okay, big man, are you going to continue to be quiet or what's up?
I'll wait for you to have to finish. I'll wait for you to finish. Now, I want to say that I was wrong. I was one of the people that thought the NBA would not come back, and I was totally wrong.
Okay.
I was wrong. So everything that Raul mentioned makes sense. You know, you have teams that you probably wouldn't expect. Now that the Brooklyn Nets now, who are technically in the playoffs now, you can be like, oh well, Kyrie, Kevin Durant is back. Should be fully healthy now. So it should be fully healthy now at that time. So you know, at that point, you can be like, oh well, let's see how good Brooklyn can match up against the Toronto Raptors in the first round. We'll see. So we'll see. So I do have a concern. I do agree with your concern with the Celtics. I do feel that, you know, like Jason Tatum was coming to his own, becoming one of the best players in the league, and then all of a sudden how COVID-19 completely stopped it. So rhythm will definitely be in question for everybody. But for the most part, I do agree with you as far as the Sixers. I think the 76ers are just completely out. Honestly speaking, they shouldn't have even made it, but obviously their record says they were good enough. But they stuck.
Talent.
Yeah, too much talent to be bad. Like this is not a good basketball team. They're not a good basketball team. I think Brett Brown's out of here anyway, but that's a whole nother story there.
There's a lot of things they got to do, and I have ideas, and I heard that you got ideas. We're gonna talk about that in the future show.
Yeah,
not right now, but we're gonna talk about that.
I mean, I think for the most part, like I said,
there should be a how to fix the 76ers podcast, right? We should have that.
We could, and we could have that.
I think everything going on, like even though people were really concerned about the TV deals as far as, like, you know, the money's gonna come up, how the salary cap's gonna go up, and now expect to be super monster ratings, but it's gonna be like unprecedented ratings that we've never seen before for 8 regular season games for each team, 8 regular season games. In a postseason, like I said, that will stretch until September, October. You are be able to challenge other sports leagues. Now we know that during that time in September, NFL's king, all that other stuff. But you're able to challenge it. First of all, it's craving. People craving for sports before. I know I have, and you guys have. I think that it's good. It's good for the NBA because now, since they were, like I mentioned before, they're the first league to strike. And it's like now all the attention is on you for the most part. So I think it's good for the league. I think it's good for the fans, and I can't wait. You know, I'm going for the Celtics. To go to the finals, but we'll see. Fuck it.
Yeah, they could I think they could dodge the NFL. The NFL's 3 days out of the week. You could put games in between, and if you can't, you could take one day. Just take Thursday.
Avoid Sunday and you're good.
Yes,
I agree.
Basically, just avoid Sunday.
Don't a lot of people watch Monday Night Football though?
It depends on the team. Depending on the team,
I think they should avoid Monday as well. I
agree. Depending on the teams, especially you have the New England Patriots play on Monday night. Everyone's gonna watch it.
But you pretty much got Tuesday through Saturday where you can have games.
Basically, yeah, so I agree.
They should be fine.
Well, unfortunately, Game 7 is on Monday, but the game that is going to be advertised for NFL is going to be Saints and Chargers. So I mean, they'll be all right. And it's at Saints. That smells like a beating. It's like, so you know how
that smells like destruction.
How Drew Brees is on Monday night. You know, I don't know what it is about him at that point. He just puts up 80. I don't know what it is about him in the game. So that smells like a beating. So
that should be fun.
Shit. We watch Game 7 instead if it gets that far.
Anyway, yes. So make sure you rate us and comment on any social, podcast platforms. like he mentioned before. Please, it helps us a lot. It helps us a lot. Also, like, share, subscribe. Like, subscribe on YouTube. Please do it. At Podcast Dynasty on Twitter. As always, I said before, this is your podcast. Here we all run the show and everything, but this is your podcast. Like I said, you can hit us up anytime you want to join the show. Most importantly, we appreciate you all for supporting us for almost a year already. So we appreciate you. All right. So other than that being said, peace, love, and applesauce, and see you soon.
Yeah.